Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how they spells are wearing off. All of their spells are wearing off. The big people up top, spells is wearing off. They're trying to work harder at doing what it is they do up there. The ones around you, spells have been wearing off. We've gotten ourselves to a great place of understanding how to disconnect, how to minimize the energy and motion, and also how to operate in our own vibration and keep it peaceful. Operating in our own vibration and keeping it peaceful. You know, these people and these beings around us have been working a lot of spells. And what's crazy is you don't really fully understand the depths of these spells that these beings have been working until it actually hits you, and then you find yourself in a space of feeling down, feeling low. You start feeling insecure, you start feeling unsure of yourself. Your confidence start taking a beat into it. You know, your ego don't even want to take off and fly no more. Your ego just chilling on a rock now. You're like, man, I need some food. I ain't got no power. I need to charge up. You know, a lot of these beings have been working things in our face and behind the scenes against us. And then we wondering why certain things is taking longer to work in our favor. Some things that should be immediately, you know. And not saying that it don't work out for us in the long haul, because it always do. This is just how life operates for us. But as far as the obstacles that are placed in front of us that shouldn't be there, I'm looking at this water and I should just be able to go straight across. But knowing with these witchy spells out here, I would try to go across there, and now it's all kind of logs in the way. Somehow an alligator done made it in the water. I don't know how. That means somebody brought it out here. It would just be all kind of weird, phenomenal obstacles that would just be in the way that just wouldn't make sense. And for me, every time I get to a place where I'm like, my energy is feeling confused, or things are starting to not make sense or keep me a little bit scrambled, I know it's something working in the spiritual realm. It's a couple entities that's been working against me in the spiritual realm. And I say that now because I don't have a lot of beings around me in physical time for them to actually work their spells the same way. So I'll have random things happening, like say like I'll wake up and then all of a sudden, like I got good rest, but my energy would just be like, it just would be off balance. It just would feel off balance. Like I would still be operating, being me. I would get throughout the day. Sometimes it happens right away when I experience it. Sometimes it takes a couple days. But I'm at a space now till I notice that when I do start to experience it, something is about to surface. That's one thing I can guarantee, that something is about to surface in this physical realm, and it's happened every single time. My last experience I had going through that, I was dealing with another being who I had cut off a long time ago, but they would still like message me and send me crazy messages. I blocked all of their numbers. They would make a new number, I would block them. Make another new number, block it. I probably got like 10, 15 of their numbers blocked. I was like, whew, finally got them blocked. That wasn't the chaotic part I'm talking about, where the spells coming at, where you can understand. But it was like a good break in between, and like a handful of weeks that went by. I didn't hear anything from them. They was already blocked on my Instagram too, so they couldn't message me from up there. And a couple weeks later, they created another number. But I knew something was going on, and it was right before they had messaged me, because it had been a couple weeks, so things had kind of settled a little bit. I wasn't having to worry about this vibration keep trying to find me and reach me and say all these weird things, just sending me vibrations, even if I don't respond to it. But I knew it was about to resurface because I just felt it in the spiritual realm. And it took about 2 days. I kept feeling it and experiencing it. I'm just going through my regular life, daily routines, just doing what I do. And I had woke up after my second day, and right around like 8, 9 o'clock, first thing in the AM. Here goes another message from another new number, which I know where it comes from. Hey, blah, 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 blah. I just needed your last name so I could send you this information and get this paperwork to you, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why would I do that? That don't even make sense. I knew something was happening in the spiritual realm, but I didn't know exactly what. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, paperwork? Fuck you need me on some paperwork for? I ain't on no paperwork. I haven't done anything out the way. I don't live the life I used to, so there's no reason why I should be on any paperwork unless it's my daughter's paperwork. So I was already thrown with that statement. So I reblocked the number. And then right around that time, I had got another thing from my BM, sent me this long old crazy message. Me and her don't talk or engage or do none of that shit. We do courts and, we don't even do swap-a-roos with my mini. We switcheroo at school, so I don't engage with her, So it's like, I don't have no hate there. She's gonna get everything that's coming to her in due time. But I noticed the tag team and the word spells and the witchy spells that was working, because one wouldn't have been enough to really impact me. So they had to send two, and they tried to put another signature on it to kind of impact me. But when you out here preparing for this stuff and you ready for it, you just already know what's coming and what's happening. So for me, the next thing that I did, I made sure that I don't open messages. I don't read them. I would advise people to not read the messages right away. Don't open messages. Don't open emails right away. If you got people like sending spells to you intentionally, it's gonna be spells being worked in the spiritual realm, which you will not see. You will feel, and you will be affected if you aren't responding accordingly. But you don't have to read the ones that they sending to you. You don't have to read them. If you don't read them, they don't have the same impact. They don't have the same power. They don't have the same push behind it. I already understood this. I had read the first one, just the top part a little bit, because iPhones, it's automatically up there. And I was like, damn, I don't want to delete it yet because I might need it for evidence. Motherfuckers crazy out here. So I just kind of left it up there. But when my BM had sent one, I ignored it completely. I didn't even open it because I'm like, yo, I got one more coming my way, because anytime the universe hits me with something, it's always in threes. This is two right here. So I'm just like, I don't know where the third one is coming from. But I got hit with two. And it was just funny because I was so ready for it. The old me on a lower awareness wouldn't have caught on to that as fast. But the new me that's been raising my awareness caught on to it right away. And it was so much easier to dodge and to weave and to keep my day flowing without my energy getting scrambled. Once you start tapping in and you understand that spells are real, people are working these things against you. That's why if you read them and you still don't respond, you still feel a certain type of way. It still impacts you. You feed yourself through your eyes, through your mouth, through your ears. So if you're reading, you're feeding yourself through your eyes. It's going within this vessel. I didn't want to intake it. And I understood that. And I was just like, that's crazy. These are just like small examples of like how people are working these spells against us. I had someone say something about me not getting aggressive was reminded them of a female or something like that. And it had just made me smirk and laugh, because I knew that was a word spell to affect me. And if I was a weaker being, I would have let that impact me. But because I know the life that I've walked, I know all the men that I put my hands on, I know all the females that tried to work that same tactic. It doesn't work on me. See, they try to use the same spells on us, the Creator's children, but it doesn't work the same as when they're using those word spells on the other beings. It has more power, it has more impact. For us, we just so divinely protected that even if we do get caught in a gullible state, we get snapped out of it right away before it gets too bad. A lot of us have been in a lot of bad, crazy situations where we couldn't even fathom how we was about to get out of it, how we was about to pay this off, how we was about to maneuver over in this vibration. look at us today. We still made a way out. These word spells are wearing off. They don't have the same power. They don't have the same impact that they used to have. And it's too much knowledge out here for us not to be accessing this, to be gaining more substance within ourselves. A lot of people that's not connected with source are just running, ducking, avoiding, hiding, doing everything they can. But all of us over here, we taking it on the long way, the hard way, you know. And this is just something that we have to be consistent in. You have to be consistent in fighting these spells. If you are not consistently fighting these spells, you're gonna miss out on some great opportunities, because once these word spells land, sometimes it takes a lot to get it off of you. Have you ever, I don't know if you got sprayed with a skunk. I never got sprayed with a skunk, but I'm just gonna use that as an example. If you ever got sprayed with a skunk, by a skunk before, that scent, that odor lingers for a really long time. Really long time. I don't care if people talking about, you take a tomato bath and all this other stuff. It still lingers. It's in you. That's how it hits when you get caught with these word spells. Spells are real. Words are spells, and spells are real. I teach my daughter this. I put a lot of emphasis on this, you know. Same way we give life with these words, we can cause ill and death with these words as well too. Because the words carry an energy vibration. We are vibrant electric beings from within outwardly. So that should already be understood. It's so powerful to the point to where I don't even tell myself that, oh man, I hope I don't run into any police today, because every time I process that or say that, I bump into one. It doesn't matter if they pull me over or not. I start seeing them more in the physical realm. So I always tell myself I'm Gucci, I'm protected out here. And when I say that, I don't have to deal or see any of them, because the spells in the life that I speak over myself is in abundance and is created with source and the creator. These spells is not gonna last very much longer. And even the ones that we had on us, you felt so much better once you was able to shake them spells off of you. It showed you how to disconnect from beings. It showed you how you needed to transmute your energy that's in motion. It showed you how you have to master your energy and motion. It showed you that you got to turn your sensories up in the spiritual realm. You know, it's a lot of things that happen once these spells start wearing off. It's like the fog start removing. You could see again. You've been walking around like me because the sun is always in my face. I always got a film facing the sun. But it's like you walk around squinty the whole time, and then as soon as the spells start moving off, you can see again. You like Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown. Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Exactly. You got your air again. You got your lungs back. You can go, and it feels good. It feels good. You can start to see people for who they are. You start to see, I hate saying people for who they are. You start to see within these beings. You start to see who's controlling these beings, you know, and who's the puppeteer to those beings. So you got the spiritual being controlling this vessel, and then you got the bigger picture, the demonic other entities controlling this spirit to get this one to do certain things. Or they just push them to the side and put one of their own troops in there, and then you start seeing a lot of possession happen. A lot of people are possessed out here, you know, but because possession just looks so goofy in movies, people don't even take into account that it's really happening out here. People are really getting possessed out here. These word spells, you see all these, the Bible, the Quran, all of these is books as well too. You know, they all house spells, good spells and bad spells. So it's just being mindful. It's just a lot of these books, they are pushing the good spells, the more righteous spells, you know. And that's why the other team felt like they had to get a part of it and to start diluting it and to cut it up and put some baking soda on it and do everything else that they do to them. You know what I mean? But once you understand these things, it'll help you in your communication process. People choose to use the words that they do. They chose to use those words. You didn't say, hey, when you ask them a question, only give me these words back. No, they went into their vocabulary, their data bank, and then they pulled out these words in this sentence and they decided to give it to you. If you're aware of the energy and the vibration you're sending with your words, then they are aware as well too. They dumb and naive to a certain degree, but they also are very fucking aware to another degree. So we can't always put everything past their head because they aren't learning righteously. If they aren't learning righteously, they learning demonically. If they not learning righteously, they learning demonically. It's only two ways to jig and finesse out here. So for a lot of us over here, we just chose to jig and finesse righteously. You know what I mean? What they say, you robbing Peter to give to Paul, you know, however that saying goes. It's like, hey, as long as you giving back, sometimes you could look at stealing as being a bad thing, and then sometimes you see it as, hey, you had to feed people out here. You had little ones you had to feed. You had siblings you had to feed. Maybe you had elders you had to feed. Maybe you just had a community around you had to feed. It all depends on the intentions behind it, you know? But just be mindful that these word spells are wearing off. They are wearing off. They are losing power, and they are going to create new ones. But they're going to base their new spells based off of the knowledge and information they gain from us, because we're always leveling up. The new ones that's coming in place are getting close to us, and then they're picking parts off of us. They like, oh, you know what? I like that gray part. Let me take that. They like, well, I like that stone. Let me take that. I like that one lock. Let me take that. And then they sculpting. They sculpting. They are sculpting, you know? Some people like to call them voodoo dolls, you know? But people was already doing this spiritually already before it was placed into dolls, material items, you know? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tap into everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.